not 100%, you can leave this one there to for next, but this machine is going for 800 something like that. So this one, two, whatever you want, if you get a new machine or
but he has to change it also.
No, all the board is still fine, right? The sketch is running out, right? You can see the color here.
Yeah.
The disc is running out as well. But mostly for this one to work, it means this one and this standing. That's what I'm saying. If you go there, either you can buy a new machine complete or.
Hi guys. Allow me to switch to defaults. For the sake of everyone working with things that they're familiar with. Okay. So this is just a short overview of how the week has been. Just going to quickly rush over setups that we saw this week, and then see what we would have done when and if. So the setups that we took, the setups that some of the ADESAL members took, and slowly and surely, one is able to read through how we look at the markets. Okay. So if you have any question, feel free to either raise your hand in the group, rather in the chat box, and I'll be able to answer it. So what we have is, so we're just going to go over the week on GBP USD, just based on how we look at the markets. So there are a couple of things that I will activate just for ease of understanding of where we are in the markets and what we're looking for. Okay. So for GBP USD, so the first thing we usually do in the morning, just before the London kill zone or the London open, is mark out two zones. No, we mark out 5 zones. Okay. The first zone that we mark out is the Friday highs and lows. The highest point that Friday got to and the lowest point that Friday got to. So I'm just going to use I'll not switch time frames for the sake of ease of transition. So that's the high of Friday and the low of Friday. And then in between, I look for equilibrium. Okay. When I'm looking for equilibrium, I'm just looking at the midpoint, right? So that I can divide Friday into a discount and a premium. Simple. Okay, so what I want to do is, for so long as the market is below, high probability setups will be that the market is going to be looking to go bullish. Okay? But considering that the whole of, and I'll go to the daily time frame just to show you this, considering that the whole of January was a consolidation. Okay, the whole of January is a consolidation, and then we had a nice strong bearish candle that indicated that the market could possibly go further down. Then that gave us a bias to get into Monday. So as Monday opened, we were not looking to buy, but instead we were looking to sell. Okay, so scrolling back to Monday, in the London session, all we were looking for is a break of structure, bearish, for us to look to sell. Okay. So there were 3 setups that happened on Monday. This is the first setup that happened on Monday. Okay, so there was a break above these highs, higher low, higher high. Then the market dipped down to a low, but if you go to the lower time frame, this drop here has a break of structure. Okay, so the drop has a break of structure. So once the market came back into the top zone here, there's something we call an imbalance. Just a minute, David. There's something we call an imbalance that we look for. And in the imbalance, once the imbalance is tested and this candle pattern forms, then we look to sell. So for Monday, the sell order was there. The risk was only 6.5 pips. That was the risk of the trade. And we can see Monday fell through. Okay, Monday fell through. So if you look at, if you use the Fibonacci tool, and this is a tool that we use at Adesal, then that was a first target. Okay, that was the first target. It was only a 2.6% move. But for us, we say if you get to your target, you're better, and you can easily get out of that market and you're very comfortable. Okay. Second setup came in New York session, fairly the same concept. From a lower high to a lower low, lower high, our pattern formed there. Okay. This is a pattern that we really talk about at Adesal. And we break it down to explain what it particularly means. So that was the risk. The reward was that. Okay, so on the same day, we had 2 setups for someone that was just looking to exit at the exit point. If you are looking to trail the stop loss all through, then that was an amazing day because your stop loss would have been hit around maybe 11 hard. Okay, once this lower high was broken. Right. So that was Monday, 2 setups or 1 main setup. Then we come to Tuesday. Now that we are out of this consolidation, for Tuesday, we were fairly looking at the same sort of scenario. We're looking for the same sort of scenario, still bearish during London session. So we waited for the market to form this higher high, higher low, lower high, low, higher high, then dip to a lower low. So when it dipped to that lower low, it had broken structure. All we were waiting for was for the market to come back, form a nice setup, then we look to sell. So for that setup again, it's pretty easy. It becomes almost second nature to trade such setups. The risk was around 4.5 pips. The reward was 11. That was a good trade overall for a 2.5% trade. And considering that GU is still not moving, like it is expected to, you can imagine how it would move if and when the market is back to normal movement. For Tuesday, we had a nice push bullish. So we closed our day early. So we missed this buy. So the buy was, once the market broke structure here, could see market pulled back into this zone, formed our nice pattern again. All you're doing is tape reading what the market is giving us. And this was the overall, the overall target was up here. So this was one of the big trades that we missed for 6R. Okay, for 6R. So already looking at Monday and Tuesday alone, that was way more than 10%, or rather way more than 10R. Okay, and we come to Wednesday, the market continued to push bullish. So if you look at Wednesday on the daily time frame, or rather Tuesday on the daily time frame, the market found support. This was Tuesday, the market found support. So once it printed this bullish candle, we're looking now to go higher on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, London session, we're looking for buy setups. Okay. We're looking for buy setups. It wasn't a very big move, but it still got to a take profit zone. From this higher low to that higher high, market came down, then formed our nice setups. This is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one around the same zone. But we always want to find an entry that has two things. Two things. We always like to find an entry that has two things. On top of it forming our pattern, we like it to have an imbalance that it has tested. Okay, so for that, this was the setup. The risk was only 7 pips. Now, the reward, first reward, because it bounced cleanly off the 32, was a 2R trade for 14 pips. Doesn't look like much, but 2% is always enough. Okay. And for New York session, we didn't see a sweep above. We saw a sweep below. Market came back into an imbalance, but didn't form an engulfing pattern. So what it did is it tested this area of resistance here. Okay. So for that day, this was too high. This was now a new higher high. Came back from the setup, but it was too big with too much risk. So we didn't take this setup. So New York was more so a consolidation. And then come to Thursday. So go again to the daily time frame. Look at what the market did on the daily time frame. Yeah. So once it printed this candle bullish, we were expecting some more bullish move on Thursday. So I'll jump down again to our entry time frame. So it's fairly the same one, fairly the same thing. Okay, fairly the same thing. So on Thursday, what happened was we were looking for buy setups, but the market didn't break any higher high, didn't form any higher high, so to catch the higher low, and it broke structure here and formed a lower low. So as it came back up, there was no two confirmations, so it was only one that was an engulfing pattern here, but there was no confirmation of that. Took out some of the guys that were in this trade, me too, because I thought this was now a confirmation to go down, but there was no second confirmation, so it was a small risk trade. Either way, played us out, then completely dipped. So the same setup, only that it came to close to 100% and formed our setup again, just a few minutes before the close of the London kill zone. 7 pip risk. That was a 3R for the first take profit, and 4.1R for the second setup. But in as much as we missed this, we caught the second setup in New York session. Okay. So this was now another setup, lower low, lower high, imbalance, plus our overall setup, risking 4.3 pips off the 61 level, targeting that much. So that was a 4.5 on Thursday. I can do this over and over again. If you go back to the videos on YouTube, that's the same way we look at the markets. That's the same way we take read. That's what we look for every single day. Okay. Then come today. Today has been eventful because the setups that we had today was this one, New York session, that didn't get to take profit. This one that formed and completely dropped, but hadn't broken structure. So by the time we're waiting for a pullback into a zone, didn't happen, so we didn't have a setup. Then we had this push during New York. We didn't expect any news. So we don't know what this, I don't know whether this was a reaction of Canadian news, but that is what happened. Market came back, formed our pattern. Quite a big risk for this setup. So I'm not even sure that it got to take profit. I'm not sure. Let me check. Yeah, didn't get to take profit. Because once we find such big candle patterns, it usually is an indication that the market will eventually slow down. Okay, we like those nice small setups, small risk, and they give us high reward. So that was Monday to Friday on GBP USD, looking for that particular setup on GBP USD. Not much, not a lot of source, because what you can see is Monday was a 2 plus 2 plus 2, that's 6, plus maybe 4, no, 6, so that's 12. Then there is minus 1, which was yesterday, so 11. There is a plus 2 here, that's 13%. And then we have this for say 16%. And not trade today. So overall 16R is a good week for anyone in the markets. So that's the overall analysis on GBP USD and what we would have done with the setups that we looked at. All right. So anyone with a question? David, or I think this is Alex. If you have a question, feel free to ask it out. But yes, so that's basically it. Remember, keep trading very simple. You do not want to overcomplicate trading. Okay, have small targets. 2% of a $100,000 account is $2,000. Making $2,000 a day anywhere in this world is good money. Okay, so you don't need to overcomplicate trading. All you need to do is learn, be consistent, and then you can earn from it. David, you've understood? Good stuff. Good stuff. So that's it. That was the overall analysis, rather overall outlook on the week and how the week has been behaving. We still are in a consolidation in GBP USD. We still are in a consolidation. And we remove majority of this. Yeah. So there is this consolidation here, and then there's another one that is from here to here. Yeah. So you can notice that the market is still moving sideways. So we don't have very high risk to reward trades, but whatever we find, we capitalize on. Okay. So that's it for our analysis. That's it for our overview. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments or in the groups that we have. And I will see you guys next Friday. Thank you guys for coming.